But with individuals, see what's the talk of the town is going down the word of the curve. You heard me? Let me just set this up real quick. Whoopsie. You already know here in Southern California, it is a hot as fuck day. We're like in the 96, 97 type shit. So hot, bro. Even hot in the shade. So this summer's coming brutal. Oopsie. This here. Okay. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new video on this channel if you guys want to scope that out, right? And I've been dropping a few freestyles on my other channel if you guys want to, check those out as well. Or recommend a beat for me to freestyle to. A few individuals have been sending them, through my email, selecting several beats. Some of them are strange as hell, I ain't even gonna lie. Okay, move this right here. And on this one, on this video, I did drop a video on just overall my thoughts on, the Dubs channel, because I was asked for that. For those who are curious about that. Because one of the subjects I get asked for a lot, about certain YouTubers. Why is I have no idea. It's just the way it is. Honestly, just because I feel like all that information is irrelevant, but it's some of the, information that people care for, I guess. So, we listen to our subscribers at least, when they ask for stuff. If we're able to speak on the matter, right? We're not going to complete assholes and be like, just ignore what they want to hear. And as it goes into topics that we can't dive into, which then I would let them know. But normally, my subscriber base is pretty cool, right? Like they understand already, all that. Have you seen the movie Cholos from Outer Space? No, but I wouldn't even doubt that that's a real movie. It probably is. It probably is. They be making some stupid ass Cholo movies, so it probably is. Like they have, what's the name of that crazy stupid one I seen? El Chicano, I think it was called, where it's like a Cholo / superhero type shit. That shit was goofy as fuck. Then there was another one with Cholo zombies, which was stupid as well. I'm like, ¿de dónde sacan tantas mamadas la pinche gente? No mamen. Like, who asked for this? Who asked for this? I'm dating a black man with a huge... oh, well, good for you. What's cracking like a dash fool? What you getting yourself into, my boy? I find it strange that people have to put the ethnicity. Man, I was so fucked up. On Monday, I had a doctor's appointment. Then I came home and I did. Oh my goodness. Can I submit this? All right. Damn, was sick? That's cabrón, hijo. That is true dedication and strength right there. Oh, he didn't accept it. A la verga, bro. That's it. Calentada for that vato. Let us know where he at. We'll give that fool a 13-second beatdown. Nah. Nah, but that is fucked up, though. Not even because you were sick. Shit, it's supposed to be ruthless, bro. I thought the streets was, heartless, but damn, it looks like the education game is on another level. You at least get sick days in the streets. Hey, I can't post up today, my boy. I'm sick. Like, all right, homie, just bring a doctor's note, dog, and everything will be firme. Imagine. Ain't no mames. I wasn't sick, but okay, all right. Digestion problem. No, well, that's still sick, though. Like, you had a problem, like, you went to the doctor. That's still considered you being sick, though. Because you didn't know what was wrong with you. It's valid. It's crazy. I used to call off from the streets just like that. That's right, my boy. You play hooky? The homies will catch you slipping at the theater. They're like, hey, what happened, homie? You said you was sick, eh? And you were like, I am, dog. But they say that this movie right here, that it's a good, movie that could help me with my sickness. It's about like fever and shit. You have to submit it. Like there's no the university. The university has the professor that he decides if he can, and he still gets to decide. Ah, su verga. Was who is he? You would think that the university would get the last say so. That it takes days. Yeah, damn, that's crazy. And I guess we could blame that to all the liars. I guess that's the fault of all the liars that lie about that shit, right? That it just, now that has all these processes and all this bullshit that you have to go through just because of the fucking foods that are lacking. That cabrón. I had these problems for years. It doesn't really cause me to have a fever, headache, just that my stomach hurts after a meal. Órale, all right. I feel you. Some frijoles burritos, my boy, and you'll clean yourself like real good, like I feel you, bro. But yeah, it probably would be difficult and uncomfortable right there. You're trying to do homework and you got stomach pains, especially with shit that we're talking about like calculus, where you gotta focus and concentrate and all that shit. Been stressing, yeah. I see my kids going through the same thing too. They get stressed out with all the work and stuff like that, like some of their homeworks and stuff. I just tell them breathe, just breathe. So I understand where you're coming from. Especially my daughter. My daughter gets like that, so I understand. I thought about cheating on the homework assignment, but though, nah, that wouldn't be a good idea, bro. You really don't want to be getting rewarded by lying. You know what I'm saying? And not really know, what's happening. And then see, the thing is that once you start with that and you get away with it, you're gonna start making it a habit, bro. Especially if you don't get caught, you start, lying on other and cheating on other homeworks, and then it starts to become a habit. You know, you start cheating on your homework, then you start cheating on other stuff, and it just, it's a snowball effect. That's why it's never good to do those kind of things, right? Like to give into bad behaviors because they do become a habit. Have you ever cheated on schoolwork? Yes, that's how I know what I'm telling you. Right? It became a bad habit. And then that, like I said, I didn't even make it past the ninth grade, so that should I really should know. But the work I would do, yeah, I cheated on it. It became a habit, and then we started, fucking falsifying other shit. Right? Then we just didn't have the motivational drive to actually do shit legit. What's cracking like Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa for the raza. What's good, Loke? I've seen people cheating on tests. They are bold. Yeah, I could see that too, right? As a matter of fact, my daughter told me, that there's individuals that cheat like that, right? But like I said, you really don't achieve, anything by doing that. Even if you do get a good grade, it's nothing to be happy about. You cheated to get that grade, so technically you really didn't earn that grade. So if you really didn't earn it, then you shouldn't be celebrating. It's kind of like when people lie about something, right, and then they get praised or they get some type of, you know, like people start to give them props and shit like that, and they get happy. But I don't know what they're happy about if it was, they're giving you this based off of a lie, right? So in all true reality, I mean, you should feel stupid and ashamed, if anything, that you got to be lying just to get some type of, praise, right? What did you think about? It's hot as fuck. Fuck yeah, it is, bro. What do you think about cheating? Think to themselves they can outsmart everyone and get away. Um, th- they'll get away. They'll be able to get away with some stuff, right? But it's only a matter of time. When you lie and you cheat, it's only a matter of time before you get caught. The reason that happens is because people's egos start to inflate, right? Like I said, you start making it a habit. You think that you're smarter than everybody and nobody could catch you, and whatever, that you become sloppy. And once you become sloppy and then, um, you slip, then it all comes crashing down. It's not a matter of if it's gonna come crashing down. It's only a matter of when it's gonna come crashing down, right? Because it's gonna happen, and sometimes it takes a while, right? But it eventually does catch up to you. And like, there's just no need for that. Like, I don't understand why people do that though. Like, you could just the honest truth is just as good, bro. And it's not even like that. There's some people that lie about the most stupidest shit, bro. Like I mean, like compulsive liars, like straight up, like lie about like what they ate, where they went. You know what I mean? Like the most stupid, irrelevant shit, bro. And those type of people are the worst. you know. But they like to be seen, highly and praised and everything. They crave that type of, attention. It makes them feel good. But it's all a lie, though. That's what I don't understand. Like, well, maybe people don't know that, that you're lying and conniving on them, right? But you yourself know, right? And that in itself should be fucking, like, how could you look at yourself in the mirror and be okay with that? Like, that you're really not what you say that you're about, and people know the truth on you, and you're just, you know? That's why some people, always like to live in the fantasy, right? That's why people don't like to be alone with their thoughts, because that's when reality hits and they don't like the reality. That's why they lie about themselves. They don't like who they truly are. Your luck runs out eventually. Might as well take those stupid risks, especially because when you get caught doing that, college you could get. Yeah, in general, any type of slip up like that is gonna come with some type of baggage. I gotta get back to working out. I'm trying to have a beer belly and have blood. Yeah. Well, it depends if you. Yeah, I mean, that's if you drink heavily though. you know, that's if like you're consuming like a gang of alcohol, like 50 beers and shit like that on a day to day. But if you're having like a drink here and there a day, it's not. You know, or if you're like up late at night eating too, because you're pedo, not good either. Where you from? Uh, like where I reside, affiliation, or ethnicity? It's a trick question on YouTube. It's never good. Being lazy. Why I started having just problems. All I need to do is study. Yeah, and you really don't even need to do that much. Like if you just like go on a walk on a day to day, a nice little jog. You know what I mean? You really don't need to be doing extra. Just a small little thing. Have you been to juvenile hall? Yes, I have. Unfortunately, even sports teams, job professionals have been caught cheating. Yeah, facts. Yep. Even in the high levels of sports like the NFL or the NBA or the Major League Baseball, with the Houston's, and NFL with the fucking Patriots, and then the NBA with their fucking refs, like the one that got arrested and did time. They did a fucking investigation on that fool. Have you heard about match fixing in sports? It happens in a lot in cricket. Soccer. Yeah, like where the refs are paid off, right? But the players are not aware of it, right? But like refs call favoritism for certain teams. Even though they are fixed, they're still difficult to get them coming in your outcome though. Like um, let's say you want another team to win, right? So you're calling the fouls their way. But if the other team is playing like just really really good, it doesn't matter how many fouls you're calling. On the other side, if they're playing like shit, right? This team is still gonna win. That's what happened in the basketball fixings as well, right? Like the refs were trying to fix certain games, but some teams just suck so bad, and the other team was just so good that not even with their help they were able to win. See, it's better. It's more easier to do it. Like, let's say if it just revolves around one person, like let's say boxing or UFC, you just got to get this boxer to throw the fight, and that's it. It's just because you just got to convince him. While in sports, you got to convince the whole team to jump on board, and if you have to convince the whole team, that means you got to pay all those people, money in order to agree to this, right? And paying them all that money, you're gonna have to pay them more than what they're making, because they could get in trouble, they could get fired, they could get, you know what I mean? So they have to. So what you're paying them has to be beneficial to them. Like they gotta be making twice as much as they're to lose, right? So I just don't see how you'll be able to get make that much of a profit if you do all that, right? And then the chance of somebody going and telling, right? So that's why it's just like if it's fixed just within the refs, right? Because there's not that many refs, and they don't make that much as it is, right? But the more people involved, it's just the bigger the risk is, and the least money you're gonna get back. So and especially in professional sports, because you're dealing with a lot of people with big egos. That's how they make it to be as great as they are, right? They have a big ego, like they don't want to lose, right? Like they don't like losing. So trying to get them all to agree to lose is going to be very difficult, right? That's why it's normally just done within, like the refs. Right? Even like, let's say, for example, when it was the Bucks versus the 76ers in the NBA Finals, um, I don't know if it was Ray Allen. They was the coach of the Bucks, Ray Allen, and somebody else who came forward when they were giving their press conference, and they said that they think that's rigged, right? See, even like the players and the coaches would have second thoughts about shit like, hey man, I think this shit is rigged, right? That lets you know that some of these people ain't involved. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just gonna be really hard for you to do it the whole team. Hey, like both teams are gonna be in on it. Like if it's wrestling. Even for have you heard about? It's up because they wanted to put. Yeah, fact. It's crooked. They have busted so many professional players for having a wrong action. You gotta a certain way in cricket. Okay, yeah. Let's say like when it comes to it's a lot more easier. Let's say a sport like that where it's like the pitcher or the quarterback, right? Quarterback is in on it, right? He's just throwing out there stupidly. But see, with so many people watching you, right? Like it's really hard to get away with it because like I said, somebody's gonna fucking point it out, right? Like, hey man, that just don't seem right. Especially in this modern day, right, with cameras everywhere. We were gonna be highlighting your shit. Like, hey, ¿sabes qué? This vato right here is fucking acting stupid. But like I said, I'm pretty sure your teammates are gonna call you out on it too. They're gonna be like, "Hey, fool, what the fuck is wrong with you, dog? You're playing like shit out there." And they could just replace you too, right? Put a different quarterback in or a different pitcher. Like I said, it's just gonna be really difficult. The players are involved. Weeks two. For example, one team pays the other team to lose on purpose. A lot of players. Yeah, but let's say you pay the whole team, right? But that's a lot of money you're gonna pay them though, right? Because the risk of getting caught, so you're gonna have to pay them more than what they normally get paid. Like let's say they get paid averagely $1,000, let's just say, right? Now you're gonna have to pay them in order for me to risk my career and shit like that. You're gonna have to pay me like 3 times as much as that, right? So, you at least gotta give me like 5,000 in order for me to agree with you, right? And so and look at all the players that there is. I mean, that's a lot of money you're gonna give up, right? So, I really don't see, like you really getting that much at the end though, beneficial wise, right? And then the chance of you coming to them with this kind of like, let's say, okay, you guys do this, right? And what if they don't want? Now they go and report your ass, right? Or they go and tell the media. Now you're fucked, right? Right? So the risk of that too, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like I said, at least when it's a boxer, he agrees with somebody, or a UFC fighter, at least it's just him. He doesn't got to tell nobody else, right? He just goes out there and pretends to get knocked out. Nobody else has to know, It's only him and whoever he fixed himself with. You know what I mean? But when you have everybody involved and you're expecting everyone to keep their mouth shut, knowing damn well that nowadays people can't keep a secret about shit, bro. People just can't help but to be talking. That's how we know about all this shit going on, because somebody always ends up talking. Respect you. And likewise, Hood Star TV. Me Droops. It happens in cricket where the entire teams have been literally recorded. Oh, serio? Damn, like that? It's crazy. It has 11 players on each team. Like 4 to 5 too. Same with soccer. Yeah, that's true. No, but soccer players get paid a gang though. Oh, but you know what? A lot of people bet in soccer too, so I could imagine that the money right there would be like a pretty big pot, right? But I just don't really see like players at that caliber really, wanting to, like there's players that really don't like, right? So like getting to agree to your plan is gonna be very difficult. Like where they're like, all right, we'll do it. Maybe if you just convince the goalie, like I could see that, right? Like the goalie's just in on it, right? So he really don't gotta block that many goals, right? If you could just convince him, I could see that. I could see the goalie being in on it, right, and just letting them. So you know how to handle the heat weather outside. Jumping in a pool. Cause it's hot as fuck. You could convince the gatekeeper cricket to smooth. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But like I said, even the chances of that though, the chances of you still pulling it off is still a risk, right? Because I mean, the other team could just be playing like trash, right? Well, you're still able to pull it off. I forgot what game it was where the ref that was up in the NBA, the one that got caught, where he said that he had, they had a fixed game, and they were trying to get. I don't know if it was I think it was against the Suns, right? But the Suns ended up winning because even though they were calling all the fouls on them and shit like that, the other team was just playing so trash that even with their help, these fools weren't able to pull it off. Hey, that's the thing. That's with betting sports, right? It's gonna always be a gamble. Thermia. What do you mean? Yeah. I actually prefer team sports than individual sports. Like basketball. Like I said, it's my favorite sport. Like let's say for individual sport, like let's say boxing, right? A lot of people like boxing. I can see why, right? But a lot of people get mad when somebody boxes, right? Like, think about that. Like, people like to watch boxing, but they get mad when somebody actually boxes, though, right? Like, let's say for example, somebody like Floyd Mayweather who boxes. They say that he runs away, he dances, he avoids contact. He's just running around the ring. But see, that's what boxing is. Boxing is a sport of strategy. It's a sport of points. You score points. You go in there, bam, 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 and points. It's not a fight. You're not supposed to go out there and fucking slug it out. That's not what it is. We go by points, right? So it's a game of strategy. So he strategizes. He goes in there. Boxing is not for two people to go in there and fucking fight. It's a game of strategy and points. That's why we have points. That's why it goes off of points, because that's what boxing is, though. But people don't like that kind of boxing. But that's what it is. They want to see a fight. But see, boxing is not about the fight, though. A good boxer knows how to box and strategize, right? Knows when to go in for the hit, when to avoid, and and tire his opponent out. Strategize. It's a game of strategy. That's why they say it's like the chess version, right? People would rather see a slugfest, but that's not what boxing is, though. You know what I mean? Because go in there recklessly and just slug it out, well, you're gonna end up getting knocked out, though. Because all it takes is just to get hit in a certain spot, right? And that's it. No matter who you are, you're gonna get knocked out. I don't know why people are so mind blown, like when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it, he knocked him out. It was mind blowing. It's like, how? So it's like, if you're getting hit in the fucking head and face, the chance of you getting knocked out is pretty high, bro. Despite who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? The human head is not designed just to be getting fucking absorbing blows like that. The fights are literally, just out of luck who's gonna win. What are your thoughts on No Jumper? And two rival rappers in the same spot without letting them know about it. I think that's just a shady, stupid, scandalous move that they do, right? But it's their fault for allowing themselves to, go on stupid shows like No Jumper, who's known for doing stupid shit like that, right? They let themselves get played. Like, you already know how No Jumper gets down, but yeah, you're still gonna go and, allow yourself to get fucking pulled into that circus. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it is stupid that they play dumb, like, oh, we didn't know, or whatever. Like I said, he's only asking for shit to go, one day, like, really, really sideways, right? And then he's gonna be fucking right there, like, wondering how the fuck he ended up in that predicament. Like, Adam is just one of those people that just does shit without actually really thinking through about stuff, right? Like, he's one of those that will just worry about the consequences when they hit the fans, right? Like, what if one of them ends up, shooting it up or doing this, is that? Well, we'll worry about that once we get to that point. Once it happens, then we could think about it. Do you like boxing or wrestling? Yeah, I think it's entertaining. Oh, do I like boxing or wrestling more? Probably equally. I would have to probably say equally. They're both entertaining. Adam's whole life revolves around watching people fight. Yeah, no, around drama, pues. His whole thing is drama, right? And working people up, right? Like, getting people mad and outraged. That's always been his thing. He sees it as publicity, as some a way to blow up. Because how he started blowing up was how he doing those videos where he was doing the BMX biking stunts on homeless people, right? Like, jumping over homeless people and shit like that, right? And the news covered it and made it a big outrage and a big deal, right? And people were bad and saying, how could he be doing that, right? And he didn't see nothing wrong with his actions. He just seen it as free publicity, free, promotion. Right? And he's always seen, conflict like that as promotion, like something to promote himself or something that could get him his name out there. Right? Creating outrage and drama. That's why he likes to do it. He sees that as how he became successful and a means of how to become successful. Right? He feels like that's the winning formula. Right? That's why he always does it. Like the best way to get people to still keep talking about us is just to create some drama, and even though I know that people know that's what I'm doing, but I don't give a fuck because still gonna bring in views, so I'm still gonna get money. So like, let's do it. I don't care if people think I'm a piece of shit because I'm getting what I want, money. That's all I care about. Give a fuck if people are watching my wife, naked and getting fucked. I put me before anybody else. I don't care if this might affect my kid later on in the future. I'm happy, so that's all that matters. Fuck their happiness. Mine comes first. Adam is always going to come before anybody, including his wife and including his child. Where's the proof? That in itself. Right? Because if he actually cared about that, then he would actually, But he doesn't, though. Someone said that Drake makes music for guys who watch other guys sleeping with their women. Really? I don't know about all that. I don't know. I don't listen to Drake's music like that in order for me to be like, yeah, I could see that. Right? So I can't, debunk it or say that is what that. Right? Because I truly, don't hear his music like that. So Adam is his way or the highway. Oh, yeah, of course, bro. Of course. He always had to look out for himself. No one else looked after him, right? So, of course, he's going to always put himself first. That's how he succeeded. He's already, in his mind, it's already set that that's how things have to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.